The red flags didn't arrive in a wave, they arrived in a whisper. We had been together for 4 years, and I had supported Mark through 3 failed startups. I worked 2 jobs to pay the mortgage on the house I bought before we met, while he hunted for unicorns. My family thought he was a dreamer, I thought he was my partner. The shift happened at his 30th birthday dinner. Mark was riding high because he'd finally landed a major seed investment for his new tech venture. As the wine flowed, his friends started joking about his overnight success. Mark laughed, leaning back in his chair. The secret to success isn't just a good idea, he said, loud enough for the neighboring tables to hear. It's finding a silent partner who's too blinded by love to realize they're actually just a high-interest loan with no repayment date. The table erupted in laughter. Mark winked at me, patted my hand, and said, "Just kidding, babe. You know I appreciate the scholarship you've given me." I didn't argue, I didn't cry. I remembered my grandfather's words. When someone tells you who they are, believe them the first time. Instead of a confrontation that night, I went home and became the silent partner he described. I stopped asking about his business and started looking into the paperwork. Since I had co-signed his initial business credit lines, I had access to more than he realized. I discovered that the seed investment hadn't gone into the company. It had gone into a private offshore account in his name only. He was planning his exit from the business and from me the moment the company went public. He even had a breakup fund folder in his bookmarks. I waited for his big launch gala. It was a black tie event filled with the city's elite. Mark was the man of the hour. When it was time for the founder's presentation, I offered to handle the tech setup. Mark was too busy networking to notice I had swapped his pitch deck for a different file. As he stood on stage glowing under the spotlight, he clicked the remote for his first slide. Instead of his company logo, a giant screenshot of his breakup fund spreadsheet appeared on the 20-foot screen. The next slide showed his text messages to his co-founder. "She thinks she's an investor, but she's just the safety net I'm about to cut. Once the IPO hits, I'm out." The room, filled with the very investors he was trying to impress, went deathly silent. Mark's face turned a shade of gray I'd never seen before. He turned to me, his mouth hanging open, looking for the blinded girl he thought he knew. I didn't say a word. I just set the remote on the podium, took a sip of my champagne, and walked out the glass doors. By the time he got home, the locks were changed, his safety net was gone, and the silent partner had finally had the last word.